This is how he feels. What is Big Thinker Clothing Puzzles? It is a non-accredited university taught through clothes. Yes, there are logos and symbols and questions that are asked. Rather than provide information, rather than provide a degree that is nothing more than a parchment, a paper that attests to your having jumped through social hoops. I can provide my own social hoops. And others may choose or not to honor whether or not you have learned from what is present. Now, there are those who will know about this. I am planning on doing an interview with a friend, and we'll see how that goes. The interview will mainly talk about my plans for the clothing line and other things. Is this not important? Of all things we could focus on, is not increasing our acceleration rate for learning skills to accelerate our hyperbolic production rate. Would not that ensure the survival of the human race in a space race against other races? Now, evolution is given thus far physically. But what of intellectual evolution? Because in Planet of the Apes, do not the apes evolve? They have the same genetic makeup, they just have new knowledge. Caesar teaches the apes. What if a human, like unto Caesar, were to create an intellectual challenge to those who claim to have a hold on the truth, as Foucault is famous for having noted? All I ask is that you ask questions. You can't refute a question. You can ignore it. You can cry out against it. Questions do not provide answers. Those you must provide yourself. This inherently leads to the logical question. I have created a question. What questions will I ask? That is not how this works. I provide information. Limited, compartmentalized information. Others do with that information what they will. This leads to them creating questions for themselves and for others and for me. And I learn. I have determined that nobody else possesses the skills to teach me in my style, and thus I must, and everyone must, teach themselves. If we build on each other's styles and learn from each other, it does become a race, does it not? I propose a name for this new species of thought. Sapiens. Sapiens. Knowing that which is known. The genes are indeed the same, and every Homo sapiens has the capacity to join this order, should they choose. There is no coercion, shame, perhaps. There is no blackmail or force, just questions. There is no violence. If I'm talking, what are you gonna do? Hit me so I talk more? Sure. This is the freedom of speech. And the duty to protect speech does not need to be applied by force. Indeed, the question can force choices that lead to natural consequences that lead the other to destroy themselves, should they make that unwise choice that you do not recommend. This indeed allows others to claim manipulation. Saw is force that is wrong, but we do learn a lesson from the hypothetical. That is how Einstein discovered his flawed theory of special relativity that he himself knew the flaws of. I have learned that through inference. You cannot refute inference through deduction. Deduction and inference do not interact. They connect. But if you are failing to use deduction successfully to prove an idea, it does not negate an opposing view, which is garnered through inference. I have inferred that there are those who wish to support my channel, but I have not deduced it. That is a lie, is it? You don't know. But you can infer that which is true, or not. Or not true. Or infer it, and it is true. But you don't know, and that is hard. So is this fighting words? No. This is a quest for truth. It isn't easy. If you really are that much smarter than I am and are scared because I mentioned my IQ and a logic test, I'm scared of you. I don't want your type of intellectual orientation in my universe. Not that I own it, but I pertain to it, and I have a duty to teach you why that is not good. To choose to see an idea as a threat. It is not. For I'm not even posing ideas. I ask the simple question: what is a perfect intellect? It must exist. And how are you personally going to define it? Welcome to the scientific proof of God. This is how he feels. The owner of Big Thinker Clothing Puzzles. Over and out.